China has just hit the United States with a 125% tariff on selected U.S. imports. The world is watching. This isn't just another escalation in a trade war, this is a strategic, multi-layered move from a rising superpower that's fed up with being squeezed. From global trade routes to internal political optics, every piece of this puzzle matters. And while on the surface it might seem like a reactionary move, the truth runs much deeper. Today, we break down the top 5 reasons behind China's aggressive new tariff strategy. Each reason is a story in itself, woven with economics, politics, and power plays. Reason number 5, election year leverage. 2025 isn't just another year, it's the year America holds its most polarized presidential election in recent history. With Donald Trump returning to the White House in January, the U.S. is entering a volatile political cycle that creates a rare opportunity for Beijing. So when Beijing announced a massive 125% tariff on American goods just months into Trump's presidency, it wasn't simply about economic retaliation. It was strategic political timing. Here's why. First, election years in the U.S. come with heightened political sensitivity. Every move the administration makes is under a microscope, and political opponents are quick to exploit any misstep. By launching an economic counterattack now, China injects uncertainty into the American economy, fueling debates, fears, and headlines that no candidate can ignore. Second, Trump's return has reignited the flames of populist rhetoric, with protectionist policies like America First once again dominating the narrative. Beijing knows that pushing back aggressively against tariffs will trigger emotional, nationalistic responses from the administration, responses that might not be economically wise. This gives China leverage to frame itself as the more rational actor on the global stage, appealing to other economies who are also tired of unilateral U.S. moves. Third, the 125% tariff wasn't just a blanket increase. It was precision-targeted. Key U.S. exports such as agricultural products, automobile parts, and semiconductors were hit, industries that are vital to swing states like Michigan, Iowa, and Wisconsin. These are states that could decide the election. And now, they're feeling the pain. Reason number 4, retaliation for the 145% U.S. tariff. The most immediate and visible reason behind China's 125% tariff hike is retaliation, a direct counterpunch to Washington's aggressive trade stance. Just weeks before, the U.S. imposed a sweeping 145% tariff load on selected Chinese imports. This wasn't just a trade policy, it was an escalation. Beijing, under mounting domestic pressure and watching its exporters suffer, needed to respond forcefully. And respond it did. But this retaliation wasn't impulsive. China's response was calibrated, strategic, and multi-layered. First, it targeted key American industries that are both economically and politically sensitive, such as agriculture, automotive parts, and high-tech components. These sectors have large voting constituencies and direct connections to the American middle class. By striking at the heart of American exports, China sought not only to inflict economic pain but also to make Washington feel the consequences of unilateral trade aggression. It's a move meant to shift the cost of escalation directly back onto U.S. policymakers. Second, China's 125% tariff also serves as a signal to the rest of the world: Beijing will not be pushed around. It's a demonstration of resolve aimed at both domestic audiences and international partners. The message? China is willing to stand its ground and retaliate decisively when provoked. Third, this move reflects a long-standing strategy of reciprocal escalation that has defined the U.S.-China trade dynamic since the early 2010s. In every round of tariffs over the past decade, China has carefully matched the magnitude and optics of U.S. actions. The 125% figure was chosen not by coincidence but to mirror, and challenge, the U.S. move directly. Finally, this retaliation is designed to create leverage. China understands that negotiations are inevitable. By responding with force, it strengthens its position at the bargaining table. Any future talks around trade agreements, WTO complaints, or bilateral terms will now be shaped by this bold show of resolve. In short, China's 125% tariff wasn't just about evening the score, it was about asserting its place as a co-equal power in the global trade arena. Reason number 3, domestic optics and political messaging. While international headlines focus on the U.S.-China confrontation, Beijing's leadership has its eyes fixed just as firmly on the domestic front. The The 125% tariff is not only a geopolitical response, it's a political message to the Chinese people. With economic growth slowing and youth unemployment reaching record levels, the Chinese Communist Party needs to rally national unity. The easiest way to do that: position China as a victim of American aggression, and its leadership as bold defenders of sovereignty. By targeting U.S. imports and standing firm, Beijing projects strength. State media broadcasts the tariff move as an act of patriotic resistance. Online, social platforms are flooded with hashtags supporting the retaliation, many amplified by government-aligned influencers. Reason number 2: weaponizing supply chains. Beyond tariffs, China holds another powerful card: control over global supply chains. From rare earth minerals to lithium batteries and electronic components, China remains a critical node in manufacturing. By raising tariffs and hinting at further export restrictions, Beijing reminds the world, and especially the U.S., just how dependent modern economies are on Chinese industrial output. This isn't just economic policy, it's geopolitical signaling. The message is simple: push us too hard, and we can disrupt your tech sector, your auto industry, and even your defense capabilities. It's not just about taxing goods, it's about leveraging control over what makes those goods possible. Reason number 1: the long game, global power realignment. China's 125% tariff isn't just a retaliation, it's a statement about the future world order. Beijing sees a shift from US-led unipolarity to a multipolar system where economic alliances are more regional, more diversified. This tariff, and others like it, are tools to accelerate that transition. It's not only about hurting the US economy, it's about reshaping trade norms, empowering alternative institutions like BRICS, and signaling that China is no longer just reacting to global power, it's actively redefining it. China just shook the table. But this is only one move in a long game of global strategy. If you want to stay ahead of the next big shift, subscribe now. We break down the why behind the headlines.